I'm fucking pissed the fuck off.
All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would love to start by giving all honor, all glory, and all infinite praises to our power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught us this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutation to the Sensei Akim, laboring in this truth, preaching, teaching, and believing on the name Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai. And peace, blessings, and salutations to the men, women, and children that believe on the name Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai. And I want to get into a quick lesson through the Spirit and the Lord witness edifying. But, it's videos like this that's going to keep coming out, you know what I'm saying, that you're going to actually not only start seeing videos, but you're going to start to see the action behind some of the things that these people are saying, because this is the things that our apostles and elders and the men on down that have entered into those labors have warned of and been warning of that would come, right? That especially here in these latter times. And this is a result of it. You're going to hear the frustration in a voice, and the frustration leads her to voice the actions and the precautions that she's going to take because of the things that are beginning to fall upon not just her, but again among that again beginning to fall on many other Americans that are in America, right? And this is the state of it. And like we say, this is the time of Jacob's trouble, right? This is for you Negroes, Latinos, Native Assembly Indians. Matter of fact, we're gonna start with that precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it." So that these times that are coming upon us is going to be a great time, but there's going to be no time in history that you can compare to what the world is getting ready to experience in America. It says, "It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." So it's the time of Jacob's trouble for you Negroes, Latinos, Native Assembly Indians, and the ones that's going he shall be saved out of, who meaning the elect. The Lord willing will be a part of that number. Those are the ones that are going to be preserved and protected from the things that get ready to come down the pipe here in these latter times. So now going to this video, I'm gonna let this video play. I'm gonna get into a couple precepts and I'll close.
I'm fucking pissed the fuck off. They cut my motherfucking food stamps to $85 fucking dollars from $738. How the fuck that's supposed to support a household of 3? For a job that barely even support my basic needs now. Like, inflation is high in the bitch, groceries is high as shit.
And that's cold, because even when you sit there and you think about just what she just said, you got to realize grinding is ceasing. You got people being laid off left and right from their jobs, right? But not only are people being laid off, they're experiencing the Medicaid is taking a cut. Medicaid is taking a cut. Food stamps is going to take a cut, and Section 8 is going to take a cut. So all these things that Jake lives off of to support them, or that helps them get through society, these gifts, right? That has fully destroyed their hearts, right, for thinking that they could trust on Esau, Edom, thinking they could trust in his system, trusting in Egypt, right? Now it's going to be to your confusion. Right, like it says in Isaiah the 30th chapter. This is going to be for your confusion now, because you trusted in something that couldn't truly help you, right? Or save you, right? Especially in the day of the Lord. So instead of getting close to Yahweh Shai Shai, our people spent time getting more deep into the system, getting more gridlocked into the ways of Esau, Edom, trusting in the ways of Egypt. But see, now guess what? Now the destruction of Yahweh Shai Shai is getting ready to come down on a massive level. Now ain't gonna be no way for Jake to escape. So now here it is. Now you're gonna see Jake's doing some of the most lewd things. You're gonna see Jake they have to lean on the flesh. They have to trust in every way. They have to trust in every way that they trusted in, instead of trusting Yahweh Shai Shai. Matter of fact, let's get into it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let this play finish.
Oh, I'm pissed the fuck off. Like, I'm mad as shit, because how the fuck am I supposed to survive off that shit? So when y'all see me in the motherfucking store stealing stuff and that shit in my motherfucking bag, nicely act like you don't see shit and mind your motherfucking business, because this shit is going in my motherfucking bag, and I'm walking out this motherfucking store with my motherfucking chest up and my head held high, and I dare you to try to tell me, "Hey ma'am, excuse me," because I'm gonna look at you like you fucking retarded and say go talk to Trump about that shit. On my kids, anybody that motherfucking voted for him, girl, fuck you, or him. Fuck y'all, because y'all is the stupidest motherfuckers I ever seen in my life.
And that's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? They gonna take messages into their own hands. She said, fuck. She said, girl, fuck you. Whoever y'all voted for Trump, y'all so stupid. Y'all the stupidest motherfuckers I ever seen in my life. And Jake is the stupidest motherfuckers you ever seen in life. That's why the scriptures say they are Sodom's children. Right? Wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. And when you go into that word Sodom, man, it means stupid. And that's just what the fuck Jake is. Jake stupid. Jake, here it is. Jake trusted in all these lies that Donald Trump told and ran and voted for him. And now you're the main group of people that he's making destitute of these resources that he's cutting the most that you depend on. And now here it is. You got Keisha doing what? Talking about what she gonna do since they done took her shit from 785 to 85. She like, shit, how the fuck I'm supposed to feed me and three people living in my household off that? So look, here it is right here. We're gonna get into it. That second Esdras chapter 15 in verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell in, death and destruction. The ones that dwell here, but not only the ones that dwell here, but the ones that have made America their resting place. The ones that have trusted in America, the ones that have trusted in these lies, right? Like Isaiah 30, because you trust in lies and oppression, right? Because you said speaking to us right things, speaking to us right things, speaking not unto us smooth things. You know what I'm saying? The ones that are trusted in the ways of America, right? So easily going to be confusion. So it says, woe to them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. We see the sword and the destruction of Yahweh Shema Shah drawing now faster than ever. With the prophecy jumping out the pages, now more than ever. So then it says, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. There's going to be civil unrest out here because of lack of resources. That's what's getting ready to happen in America. Literally, they just, these elites, they just setting the stage. Everything that you're witnessing happen to this economy, this economy is by design. Because they're seeking to destroy a system. So therefore, they're going to bring chaos. Then they're going to bring order out of chaos, meaning they're going to implement another system, a new way. Another way for you niggas to say, another way, so once they implement it and once they throw it in your face, it's like, whoo, they finally brought help. They finally sent aid, which is going to be that tiny technology, and 2/3 of you niggas going to run and take it, right? You're going to run and take it because you're just looking for something to rest your head on. You looking for some kind of comfort. And it's going to be for your destruction. So it says, verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. Shit, she talking about invading the grocery stores if they cut her shit. So how much more when there ain't no goods in the grocery stores and people are invading one another's, invading these people, or you don't think people on your block seeing you take in all those groceries or seeing you store certain things? You know what I'm saying? People are preparing in whatever way that be, but it's carnal. But it shows you that people are going to take action to their own hands to try to save their lives. Right? It says, for sedition shall be among men and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. So they don't, like she said, fuck shit. When she started to do this shit, she said, go talk to Donald Trump. And that's what people gonna say. They're not gonna be adhering to orders coming down from Donald Trump or the elites giving Donald Trump orders and the orders that's gonna come down. People ain't gonna be adhering to that shit. People gonna be seeking self-preservation. People gonna be seeking a way to preserve themselves, how to feed their households, how to protect their families, how to do all these different things because it's gonna be an onslaught of war in the streets. It says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their own power. Salakia. And in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Meaning whatever power they feel that is in their hands to do, or whatever they feel, whatever measurements they feel that they have to take or measures to meet, to protect, to survive, to do what it is to make it when the grand scheme of things changes around them. That's exactly what people gonna do. That's exactly what people gonna do. Right? So it says, verse 17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Because you got to realize, we were talking about it at camp this past week, because the scriptures say, like in the days of Noah, they're going to still be eating, drinking, giving in marriage, giving in wine, doing these different things, just like in the days of Noah. So you got to realize the world is going to still have some type of normalcy. America will. So every city won't look the same. Every state won't look the same. Famines is just a shortage of. So you're going to have people trying to get in from one city to another city, but not going to be able. They're going to have blockades set up, right? Because this city might be wasting on not nothing in it, no resources. But the next city over, they got a little bit going on. But they're going to set up blockades to keep people from doing such things, right? Or going into other states that have certain things, a neighboring state. It's not happening. They finna fence Jake ass in. Because guess what? Order out of chaos. So therefore, your only resource of help is going to be when they implement the new system, and they're going to see who's going to get down, right? So it's going to get real bad out here, right? And that's why it's important to get to be knowing Yahweh Shem Yahushua now, like the scriptures say. Seek not I created in the days of thy youth while the evil days come not. Because see, we're still in the green tree. We're going to keep telling you that. We're in the green tree. It's still some normalcy out here. But soon come, it's going to be look out on, and the winter's going to be darkened, like the scriptures say. And everything that you used to seeing and the way that you used to things running is not going to be that way anymore. So then it says, for because of the pride, the cities shall be troubled. It says, the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. And literally, the scriptures talk about men's hearts failing them for fear. Men are really going to be out here. These mighty men, these men that claim to be mighty men, going to be afraid. Especially you loudmouth bitches, you're going to be afraid. And your children. These motherfucking YNs, they going to tuck too. Because guess what? Shit going to get just that real out here in these streets. Right? Houses being destroyed. You know what I'm saying? You ain't seen shit yet. You wait till you wait till these white militia groups hit the streets because they trying to preserve theirs. Because they done stocked up on goods, but not enough goods. But now they finna come spoiling these different neighborhoods because they got all these they got guns that you ain't never seen. Hell, what is it? I forget what the militia group is. These motherfuckers actually practicing for the times. It's a lot of shit that's getting ready to take place that Jake just ain't ready for. The Lord getting ready to get down on Jake because of their disobedience, because of your rebelliousness, because you rejected the knowledge, because you rejected this wisdom, knowledge, understanding. All these things are for Jake. It says, for because of the pride of the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So just like what she was saying in that video, they ain't gonna be giving once Jake been made destitute of their daily necessities. Jakes that ain't used to not eating, ain't used to not having a cigarette, ain't used to not having that sack of weed, ain't used to not having that shot of liquor, ain't used to not having these things, that ain't used to not bathing their asses, ain't used to not having these homes. You know what I'm saying? Ain't used to not having certain things, right? Jake gonna lose their fucking mind, and you getting ready to see it. You getting ready to see a result of people losing their mind. She telling you, shit, they took my shit from $784 to $85. She ready to lose her mind right the fuck now. That's why she said, so when you see me doing X, Y, and Z, you better not say a motherfucking thing to me. And that's the same spirit that's gonna jump on 2/3 of our people when this shit really hit the fan. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So all these things going to be happening and taking place because of lack of bread and great tribulation. This is a time like never before. But see, Jake think this shit again. This shit about to turn. Let's get these last ones. I'm going to get these last little bit of them closed. This Proverbs chapter 1. And I'm going to start at 20. Right? It says, matter of fact, I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, wisdom shouts in the streets. She cries out in the public square. And that's why we go out on the highways and the hedges week in and week out. Right? Prophesying the downfall and destruction of America, but also warning our people of the downfall and destruction of America. But they refuse to adhere to this message and the things that are taking place while these things are taking place. Right? They guess because all these things are taking place, but here it is, yet they act like they can't see it. So then it says, she calls to the crowd along the main street, to those gathered in front of the city gate. How long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded? How long will you mockers relish your mocking? How long will you fools hate knowledge? Because guess what? That's what Jake do. Jake's simple-minded, stupid as fuck. It says, and they mock. They see us out there on the highways and the hedges, and they take it as a time to mock. instead of as a warning to prepare, right? It says, so they hate knowledge, so they mock and they pass on. They refuse to, like I said, they refuse to adhere to the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Not understanding it's not us that you're rejecting, but it's Yahweh Shem Yahushua that you're rejecting. So then it says, come and listen to my counsel, I'll share my heart with you and make you wise. And that's what the Heavenly Father is trying to do. He said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man open it to me, he'll come into him, sup with him. But see, guess what? The Lord can't sup with these niggas because they won't open up. They can't hear the knock. So guess what? Because these niggas sleep. It says, verse 24, it says, I called you so often, but you wouldn't come. So the Lord calling, but they ain't coming to the phone, right? It says, I reached out to you, but you paid no attention, right? It says, you ignored my advice. And that's why the Lord finna deal with these niggas, because they ignoring his advice. It says, and rejected the correction I offered. So when the Lord offered you that chance of correction, telling you to get right, telling you to stop doing this, telling you to stop doing that, telling you to come back from your wicked ways and return it to him, that you could be saved, you ain't want it. So then it says, so I will laugh when you are in trouble. I will mock when when disaster overtakes you. And so like we always say, if the Lord is speaking through the prophets, who you think he's going to laugh through? He's going to laugh through the prophets. Yahweh Shem Yahushua going to get the last laugh. So it says, when calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disaster engulfs you like a cyclone, and anguish and distress overwhelm you. So everything that you could possibly imagine is finna get ready to fall on American people. But not just the American people, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Assembly Indians. It says, Salaki, verse 28, Proverbs 1:28 in NLT, it says, when they cry for help, I will not answer. So it's going to reach, these things are going to reach such a height that you're going to cry out for help. You're going to try to seek the Lord, but you ain't going to be able to find him. So it says, when they cry for help, I will not answer. Though they anxiously search for me, they will not find me. That's what the Lord said. So that's when you're going to be looking for faith. That's when you're going to be looking for understanding. That's when you're going to be looking for the prophets. But you won't be able to find it. So it says, verse 29, it says, for they hated knowledge and chose not to fear the Lord. So because you hated knowledge and you chose not to fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua, it says, they rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. What it say, this point? Therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of living their own way. So everything that you done trusted in, Donald Trump, Esau Edom, the gifts, the Medicaid, the food stamps, the Medicaid, the food stamps, everything. You know what I'm saying? To the living assistance, all of it. Right? Section 8, all that shit that Jake depends on. Right? It says, therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of living their own way. So because everything that you trusted in outside of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that's what you got to lean on and trust on in that day. Choking on their own schemes. For simpletons turn away from me to death. So ultimately, in rejecting Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you're choosing death here in these latter times. It says, for fools are destroyed by their own complacency, settled on their leaves, right? And so now that you're comfortable and now that you're complacent, now the destruction is getting ready to come. And when the destruction comes, it's going to be too late to jump up and find Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It says, but all who listen to me, right, will live in peace, untroubled by fear of harm. So the ones that have chosen to fear and serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua in these latter times ain't got to worry about adopting the mindset or worry about dealing with the spirit that's on that woman or the video we just watched. Because we going to be good. The Lord said, my servants shall eat. My servants shall drink. We're going to rejoice. But they not going to eat. They not going to drink. And they going to howl for vexation of spirit. And you already seeing the howling of the vexation of her spirit. So how much more when the green tree dries up? So with that, I just pray and hope this lesson was edifying. I'm going to end giving all honor, all glory, and all infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught us the truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the sensei Akim, laboring in this truth, preaching, teaching, and believing on the name Yahweh Shai Shai. And peace, blessings, and salutations to the men, women, children that believe on the name Yahweh Shai Shai. Till the next time I say Kwame Yashala, Shalom.